It's the Star Wars Holiday Special with Mecha 42 and everybody's favorite Wookiee, Rob. And Itchy Baka. And B. Arthur.
And the Itchy Baka?
Not like the Itchy Baki, but like I was trying to be like, and what's his son's name?
Lumpy.
And Lumpy.
And the Jefferson Starship.
And Jefferson Starship. And Art Carney. How's everybody doing out there? We got some possible other people joining us, but for now, it's just us. We're doing a special report. You're not just seeing things. We are live on Tuesday. And yes, we have Rob.
Okay, I don't even know if I'm playing trivia tonight. I mean, it's my parking ban downtown.
Dun, dun, dun. You just cut out real bad. I don't know what you said, but yeah, we're here to
and get closer to the microphone.
Put it in your mouth, Rob.
Turn up your volume. If people were complaining on my video last night, you were still too quiet.
Well,
it might be in your settings, or you're just not talking.
Well. Let me see. Hold on. How's any better? 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Better.
Okay.
Better.
Yeah. 1 2 1.
If you were not sleeping last night, you probably seen at least 2/3 of us on the Geeksing Plus Gamers.
We were out with Critical Drinker and Mahler.
Oh my God, that was crazy.
It was like an all-star.
We were just missing Doomcock. Was like the only one who wasn't there.
You know, I had this weird thing. See, now it got my mic got turned on to 88 for some reason.
That's why.
Did you get that auto processing thing on or whatever?
I don't know.
Because you're cutting out too. Well, while you're figuring that out real quick, and Bird of Prey 5 sent us $2. Don't tell AT I'm super chatting when he's not here. Okay, I won't tell any Trekker. He's gonna be here tomorrow though. We also have another special guest with him tomorrow.
Who?
Should we tell him, Mecca? Do you know who it is? You don't?
No, who is it?
Odin.
Oh, okay.
Who?
Yeah, you did tell me that.
I thought I did.
I don't remember shit though.
Who? From Odin's movie blog. Who?
Oh, that Odin dude. Yeah. Okay, I know who he is. He's good.
So yeah, we're gonna have Annie Trekker. We're gonna have Odin. So
I think I've been out with Odin for a very long time.
Yeah, crazy.
We were last night, right? Like,
let me tell you.
He was on in the earlier part, yeah, but I don't know. I can't remember if he was there when I came on. I think he was gone.
No, Ryan Cannell and Drunk 3PO and Uche.
I had this weird dream last night, Tom. I had this dream that Star Wars was bought by this evil witch, and she ruined it and cackled gleefully as it went down in flames.
Oh no, she didn't buy it. She got it given to her. Disney bought it.
Still,
Disney bought it. She just works for them.
So that actually happened then. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, darn it.
But it's okay because Raylo is confirmed.
Raylo.
Oh yeah, we had a slew of leaked photos online and rumors. I didn't see it, so if anybody did, you can confirm it or whatever. Or DM me the links. So I guess there was even video that leaked out last night.
I didn't see the video. Yeah, I could never find that.
If this is the case, if that's true, to me would be the first time in history, as far as I know, that video had actually leaked out of a premiere. And I think this might be one of the few times that pictures leaked out. I mean, there was the incident with Mark Ruffalo where he accidentally left his phone going for a few minutes during Thor for the first few minutes, I guess, or something like that. But
now, let me ask you. Oh, Sister Harrow, $2 Australian. Thank you very much. Hello, to your favorite channel. Oh, thank you, Sister Harrow.
You're such a nice liar. But if it is, I applaud you.
We know you're.
I'm sorry. No, just kidding. No, it's a fan.
Yeah, we know you're cheating on us with Jeremy Johns. So that's.
So I was fortunate enough to be able to break the news of a certain YouTuber.
Oh, we missed one from Rosetta. Sorry, hang on to that real quick. A certain YouTuber. We missed one from Rosetta. Where is it? Is it way up at the top? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Pray.
Sorry. Rosetta Allen must have sent it before we started. I didn't see it anyway.
Yeah, it looks like 10 minutes before.
$2. You guys are amazing. Never change fandom menace. Yeah. Anyway, you were sorry about that. Thank you so much, Rosetta. And you were saying then.
Sorry. Did you get Ricky Critics?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate these so much. They do keep the lights on here. You have no idea because he's always good. Go ahead, Rob.
So, pal banged a chick, and Ray loves mass murder.
That's right. That's my granddaughter. She's the greatest, bestest ever in the universe and galaxy. Ever.
Well, if you think about it,
Don't you
Palpatine
talk
got
bad
what he
about
always
my granddaughter.
they got what he always wanted, the destruction of the Skywalkers.
Oh, you're.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Why? Why do you have to be the voice of fucking reason and chaos?
Well, this is the thing. They are always making these heroes out to be basically villains. It's like this is the thing a bad guy would do. Like every time.
So,
Between Ray, Mikey Spock, all of them.
You were saying something about Twitter. You were going into something there when we diverted.
Oh no! Last night when we were on with Jeremy, I was the first person I think to hear John Campia's.
Yeah, I think you did. You brought it up. That was like
I was listening to that live. I was listening to that. People are like, "Oh yeah, go see what Campia says," because we kept waiting and kept waiting and kept waiting, and it was like, okay, well, here's the time when everything's supposed to drop, and then nothing dropped, and then of course there was that whole Rise of Skywalker hashtag.
Yeah, I sent that to you and Candy because both of you, like, one of you would seem to get some of the messages, and then you guys were distracted. So it was like I was just trying to get at least one of y'all's attention.
Yeah, that was good. That was good because I would see half of them, she would see half of them, and yeah, it's so once Campia posted his video, I was watching that while I was on stream with Jeremy, and when he starts off, it's a 1 minute long video. So he goes in and he says, "Okay, I just saw this, and now I'm gonna say that there's a lot of people who are gonna really, really like this movie." And he goes and kisses its butt for about 30 seconds, and then he drops the ball right in the middle, or the bomb right in the middle, where he's like, "But I just didn't like this." And then he kind of kept going into more details about, without spoiling anything, of course, because they're not allowed to spoil it, to basically say why he didn't like it. And then Scott Mendelson's tweet dropped, and then it was like, oh crap, you've got all these people.
To be clear though, Mendelsohn blamed us. He goes, yeah, this is all you, Star Wars. Yeah. Anyway, you were saying,
but yeah, it was insane.
But Mendelsohn not liking this movie, yeah, that's a big bombshell.
Yeah.
/1111111 sends us €5 and 49 whatever that would be cents, I guess. I don't know.
€5.49. Just that's all.
Yeah, Rob,
campaigning for the. Oh yeah, I'm really cultured. Yeah, the guy who puts a ton of sour cream on his taco. Yeah. Campaigning for the no $1 billion for episode 9 movement. No theater experience for me. No thanks. No thanks. Keep rocking, you guys and gals from Emmy. Thank you.
Well, and I was going to bring you
our favorite round-headed. I'm sorry, Tom. Go ahead before we get to that.
Well, no, I was just going to say I was going to bring it up later, but you must be on a little bit of a delay. Maybe you should refresh, Rob. Because we're like really stumbling over each other.
Yeah. Come out and come back in.
David Morris send us two. That's a £2, and he says big time frowny face. And then Sister Harrow says another Australian $2. I don't think Grace Randolph liked it too. I didn't see hers yet. Did you see hers?
No, I didn't see hers yet.
She blocked you.
I don't know. I don't think she has, but I just don't follow her. So
I don't either. So
I don't watch her. Sorry, it's nothing personal.
Rookie Critic sends us $2. They don't like it. Must be sexist incel Nazis. That's right. So let's see. Are you better, Rob?
Am I better? Let's see. How's this going? 1, 2, 3.
I don't know what that's accomplishing, but it's working. Okay, so I think we got you more sunk up now with us. So yeah, I didn't see hers yet. But if she didn't like it, I'm not too surprised because I don't think she liked The Last Jedi that much either. But yeah, Rob, you were gonna say here, just as you were kind of cutting out about Ryan Roundhead Johnson.
Yeah, our favorite round-headed idiot has chimed in.
Oh, for fuck's sake! What did he have?
Ryan Johnson believes movies should challenge fans, not placate them.
So is he feeling butthurt because this movie had to retcon a bunch of his shit?
Is this the IndieWire one?
I'm sure she did, Ryan.
Yeah, this is the article I just did on my stream.
In 2017, filmmaker Ryan Roundhead and Ruin Johnson released a motion picture titled Star Wars The Last Jedi. The film, episode 8 in a long-running sci-fi saga, was a box office hit and earned lots of critical acclaim, which doesn't always mean it's a good movie and will resonate with fans. But it also earned a ton of controversy with fans and actors alike, deriding some of the choices and risks Johnson took as a storyteller. Now, in 2019, Johnson has a new original film called Knives Out, in which he just remade Clue in theaters now, alongside Jar Jar Abrams' Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Can we call it Squawker? No, can we just call it Squawker?
The Rise of Skywalker.
Yes, we can.
The end of the Star Wars saga that Johnson helped create. No, he didn't help create it. He didn't. He destroyed it.
He just directed the most recent one.
And while talking about his murder mystery in an interview with the Swings and Misses radio program, oh God, Johnson got into what he wants from a movie and what he thinks fans need from a movie, making comments that I'm sure will not provoke any strong opinions from any Star Wars fans either way. It's sarcasm. Johnson said, in general, a filmmaker's creative process should never be guided by what they think fans want, calling it a mistake. Calling it a mistake that would lead to probably the exact opposite result. He further clarified his thoughts, filtered through his personal experience. Even my experience as a fan, if I'm coming into something, even if it's something that I think I want, if I see exactly what I think I want to see, what the fuck are you talking about, Ryan?
Hey, are you making fun of my buzz? I would take you.
Maybe I should read it as James Earl Jones. Is
James Earl Jones.
Can't be any worse.
It's like
Ryan Johnson.
Hey, it might make me smile. It might make me feel neutral about the thing, and I won't really think about it afterwards. But that's not really.
No, you're making it sound too smart.
Yes. I really want to be shocked. I want to be surprised. I want to be thrown off guard. I want to have things recontextual. Oh, for God, you shut up, you idiot. I want to be challenged as a fan. When I recontextualize is a word people throw out, hipsters throw out to make them sound smarter than they actually are. What I'm aiming for every time I sit down in the theater is to have experience with The Empire Strikes Back. Oh, here we go with the revisionist history of The Empire Strikes Back. Something that's emotionally, it feels like it connects up and makes sense and really gets to the heart of what this thing is, and in a way that I never could have seen coming. Oh, in other words, he wants to subvert his expectations. Dang, and this is what Collider. Dang, I mean, yeah, that sounds like everything I want from movie 2, Johnson. Dude, Johnson has been a vocal film fan, as evidenced by his genre-fueled works and his lovely Twitter shout-outs to films he enjoys. And so I appreciate his audience-first perspective as a filmmaker being guided by himself as an audience member, not by a focus group down the middle version of a fake audience member. Shut up. Oh, just shut up. Shut up. Stop defending the rise of stop defending The Last Jedi.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Oh, good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we hit this super
Good
chat?
for you!
X Morbius sends us $10.
Oh, God. Like, I get it. The last Palpatine takes on the Skywalker name, showing Palpatine's ultimate destruction. But the Skywalkers are destroyed physically, not metaphorically. The Skywalkers lose.
This whole thing is just a big fuck you. This whole thing, it's a big fuck you to Ryan Johnson. It's a big fuck you to us. It's insane.
I honestly think this is JJ thinking he's fixing everything.
He is. He does. He genuinely thinks he is. But again, I said this, I digress last night. I said this is going to please nobody. And that's what those other tweets are about. And that's where Mendelsohn and Disney and everybody's teeing it all up so that when everybody hates this fucking movie, they can say, well, you guys were going to hate it anyway. And it's your fault the movie sucks. And that's why I don't like it, because I like The Last Jedi and you guys hated that movie. So they made this movie because of that. And blah, blah, blah. It's going to be this big fucking blame game. And they're just going to cause more divisiveness between everybody. I think somebody just sent us some, is that Kronas?
Danish kroners, yes.
Yeah.
Aura Sunlight, 17 Danish kroners. Can't they decide if they want us or not? He he he.
Pretty much.
They wanted new fans. And they thought they were going to get them. They thought they were going to get everybody who waits in line for iPhones and shops at Whole Foods and everybody who monitors Twitter to
that's what they want.
up. Yeah.
That's what they want. They think that crowd exists, that they're going to be there for every freaking movie, and they aren't there for every little movie. They're there for some of them if they're good. But look at like the Princess Weeks article where she's like, "Oh, I didn't even see Captain Marvel." Like that's who they want. They want the people who they think are they're buying a new iPhone every year.
$5, Captain Hair. Can Ryan Johnson's head be the Emperor's new super weapon that blows up at the end? Episode 4 fan edit with Ryan Johnson's head. Death Star when?
Yeah, all I can see from Grace Randolph is she has embargo lifts at 3 a.m. Eastern, and then it's like laughing, rolling eyes, like over and 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 over again. And then there is some cool stuff though, so that doesn't sound too promising from her.
Oh boy!
Wow.
But can we? Oh, get him, Sadie. Can we officially stick a fork in it? This is Star Wars is officially done on. Well, this iteration of Star Wars is done on film. I mean, this is going to be relegated to fan fiction, isn't it?
I think so, and I think Andre kind of alluded to that in his editorial today too. Like, a lot of fans will just decide that these are not a part of the whole grand vision.
Aura Sunlight, 17 Danish kroners. Thank you again. Slow clapping. Yeah, and how do your business goes?
Maybe something lost in the translation there, but I think it's more like, using the whole golf clap. Yep. That's great for your business.
How's your business doing?
Yeah, how's your business doing? And like Andre pointed out, and I don't think it was the last video, but the video for that about the whole, with all these like Wall Street Journal and Bloomberg articles and all this other crap, and then you got Mendelsohn out there saying, "Oh, Disney doesn't need Star Wars." Yeah, I'm sure the stockholders loved that being out there just before the movie drops. They're shaping this up to be a disaster because, sorry, Rob, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say they're shaping this up to be a disaster because they know it's going to be. And now that
they're still saying though that, but no, it doesn't matter if the fans hate it because the movie's still going to make money. That's the one that was the video that Rob and I were almost going to do until all the leaks started dropping. They're like, we were actually going through all of that. Pretty much every article is like, yes, but see how much money they make. Look how much money they make. Look how much money they make. So that's what they're doing. They're prepping this for negative reviews from even the shill media. Even the people that they thought they were bought and paid for, that they could just get a good positive review out of and get some more butts in those seats. So this one might not even do $1 billion now.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because I said that last night. I was like, because I'm the first one to go, oh no, this movie's going to make $1 billion no matter what, blah, blah, blah.
That's
blah,
what
blah.
I was thinking too, until now I'm seeing all this stuff. But
yeah, now that most of the movies leaked online, I don't think that the butts are going to be in the seats.
No, I don't think so. Hi, guys.
Hey,
how you doing, Mary?
I'm good.
Who's that?
Good as always.
How you doing?
Hi, Rob. How's your internet?
He has to ask who it is. That's how good his internet is.
Oh.
He can't even hear who it is. That's probably wow. Oh Lord.
Good is an overstatement. I'm horrified and absolutely. Do what?
He's just playing his.
I know who it is.
Jeff Fisher.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Luca. I love your shirt.
and I light up too.
It's actually a dress, but yeah, it's
a dress.
It jingles.
It's a dress.
Oh my God.
Nelson Sharetta.
I love this. That is wonderful.
Nelson Toretto. Businesses don't $2. Businesses don't get to choose their customers. Yeah, they've been trying to choose their customers in Marvel Comics. They've been trying to choose their customers. They're trying to choose their customers now with Marvel on film, and they've been trying to choose their customers with Star Wars for God knows how long. You don't get to choose who buys your products. You put it out there, and you try to put the best product out there. And first thing, I actually took an economics course, but it was taught at 8 a.m., so I didn't learn shit. So why are you is that loose black bit? You know, why are you teaching this at an ungodly hour? Why are you trying to keep this a secret? You know, but the first day you learn in economics 101, you learn if you have a product you want to sell, you price it at a price point that you think people will buy. If they don't buy it, you either lower the price or you give them a different product. People don't want this version of Star Wars. You got to give them something different.
I don't know what they were thinking. What were they thinking? Well, they weren't. That's just it. They weren't thinking.
Well, and they're already giving us something different with The Mandalorian. They knew this was going to be a clusterfuck. They were filming this movie for over a year.
Yeah. They had to know this was coming.
Right up until 2 weeks ago.
Oh my God. Well, I've been trying to find this. I've been trying to find this, and it was either in a TV spot or something where you see J.J. Abrams, and he's got like an iPad, and you can see him showing some of the cast. I can't remember. It was like Rose Tico, Kerry Russell. It's one of the female cast members on this film where you see them in front of a green screen on set, but on the iPad, you can kind of see the CGI render.
Yeah,
because they're
that's
using that
new
technology.
Yeah, that everybody wants to use because it speeds
means
up
they
the
can
time.
crap out these movies every year like it's
Yeah.
McDonald's again.
It's what they used on The Mandalorian, which is why you kind of got shifty special effects. Sometimes it was really good, sometimes not so good.
So can I ask you a question, Tom? Because you were saying something last night, if I recall correctly, and I don't remember if I was on the stream or just listening to it at that point, about they were still literally working on this until the night before it got released. Is that right?
Andre said that.
Andre said that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said he heard from his insider that they were literally, and I wouldn't be surprised. Of course they were, because the way the process is, I'm sure they were working on it right up to the very last minute of the premiere. So the 3D version is going to look like garbage. I can see that already. I'm going to see the 3D version.
I'm seeing the 3D because that was the first showing that wasn't like $20.
Wow.
Unless I can find it early. Oof. Not that we're condoning anything like that.
The only upshot may be that this technology may actually make the 3D rendering easier because maybe it has to create a 3D environment, therefore it can spit out a 3D image. But because all it is you have to have two different images that are slightly different, creating the illusion of 3D. And it's become much easier, and computers are better at doing it now than using the 3D cameras, which are cumbersome and expensive, and you can get a lot of misaligned lenses and shit that really give people headaches and shit, to where I think that we've reached a point where the process has gotten much better to just do it after the fact. So I don't know how they're going to do this movie with not much time left. That's the thing. And it's done already. I mean, the movie's done. It's got to be done. I mean, it's starting in a few hours in some places.
Yeah, this is insane. So when are you guys going to see it? Because I'm
seeing it 6:30 Thursday. Yeah.
6:30 as well.
6:30 Thursday.
Yeah, that was insane.
I have no idea when.
You're not getting a ticket.
I'll try to see it.
You're going to the first fucking
Was
showing
that?
you can find Thursday, Rob.
Yeah, you have to go and see the first. You go on right now and get a ticket.
Yeah, it won't even. Seriously, won't even.
Oh, really?
They're not.
Plus, we're gonna go to Vegas as a reward next month.
Yeah, they're not.
I'll make you thank you.
They're not sold out, Rob. It's not even going to be an issue. Just get your ticket. You're not even going to have a problem because they're not sold out. You guys are good to go.
Yeah. Well, you guys get to hear Andre roast it tomorrow morning, actually, in just over 12 hours ish. Like probably about 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, I'm imagining Central Time.
What if he likes it? What if he likes it?
He might. You never know. I doubt it.
I doubt it. I know. He's an intelligent. He's a Star Trek guy. He's smart. I don't think he's gonna like it.
I have actually an actual projection. Bob Iger was asked how much money do you think this movie's going to make in at the premiere, and this is what he had to say:
$32.50.
Okay, so that's it. Low balling it up there, Bob. So, Oh boy. So,
Are you guys seeing this stuff that's trending over on Twitter? The hashtag JJ Abrams is over party because like people are losing their minds over
What?
Skywalker.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I haven't seen that yet.
Yes.
This would be the first flop he's ever had. Seriously, guys. I mean, here's the thing. I know we don't like JJ, but you got to remember, in the bubble, he's the golden boy. Everybody loves him. Everything he touches is gold.
Not
Even you can look
anymore.
at, well, you can even look at Star Wars and Star Trek in this way. He did Star Trek and Star Trek 2. Star Trek 2 actually made more money than the first movie. Now, the movie cost more, so it didn't make as much, but it still made more overall at the box office. Now, the one he didn't work on was the one that flopped. Now look at Star Wars. He made The Force Awakens. It's one of the biggest fucking movies of all time. The one he doesn't work on is the one that everybody hates. So they can't.
And then it comes back around to him. He's got nothing to work with.
Exactly. I was just gonna say, Rob. And then he's got the best excuse. He can come back and do this. He's here to save Star Wars, and if it sucks, guess what? It's Rian Johnson's fucking fault. Because you can already see the skid marks on Ryan's back from how many interviews with JJ so far?
He's throwing JJ on the bus, yeah.
Oh, big time.
So
he's cushioned.
$2. Rise of Skywalker more than less than 1 billion. How much is? I think anything under $1 billion is a failure.
Yeah, and then the next thing they're gonna do is he's got this big fucking deal over at Warner Brothers, and I'm not yelling at you, Mary, so don't think that. I'm just yelling at the situation.
No, I'm with you. I'm angry too.
I mean, it's this guy. I mean, they see him as he's probably considered the topmost of the popmost right now in Hollywood. Like, you couldn't get anybody better to direct your movie or work for your franchise.
Despite the fact that he's such a complete and utter hack, which is what blows my mind. And look, I have a minimal amount of sympathy for him because of what he was handed by JJ Abrams, right? So he had to try to follow that. But at the same time, there were decisions that could have been made here to do something that could have salvaged this a little bit. You could have done 2 movies. You could have taken your time. You could have, I don't know, respected the franchise in the first place. That would have been an option. But look, you put yourself here.
Compromise.
The Frankenstein monster that we're going to be handed. And look, that's what the critics are saying. I'm reading these tweets and they're saying that this is absolute incohesive mess, right? That we're going to be handed here. It's a Frankenstein monster because they've cobbled together multiple different versions of this movie because they have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea how to fix this. And that's because they crafted this mess in the first place and they didn't want to take their time to actually fix it. They just wanted to rush through it, get it done, get it over with. Well, enjoy the flop. I'm sorry, but I agree with Rob. Anything less than $1 billion is an absolute disaster for them because you are talking about Star Wars. This should have been the biggest thing of all times. It should have absolutely eclipsed Endgame. This should have been the thing that made all the records. All the records should have been made by this movie. And instead, everyone is ripping it apart. And you deserve this. I'm sorry, but you get what you fucking deserve. You absolutely earned this. And so I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it crash and burn. He's a hack. He's a complete hack.
Steven Anderson sent us $2. Will WB be watching how this bodes for JJ? That's what I was trying to say before. He's cushioned. It doesn't matter if this flops. It's not going to be his fault.
He's got his money. He's got his money.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond the fact that he's got a contract. Yeah, go ahead, Rob. Sorry.
No, I think that he could just say, "Hey, you guys I got a contract. Whether you want me to make movies for you or not, you still got to pay me."
CD. I tuned in for Jefferson Starship. Where are they? They're in the second half. By the time we get there, they'll have broke up and changed their name to just Starship.
But let's just mark the day and time where that someone said that Mary acknowledges that I'm right about something. So
I had to acknowledge that the ladies and Jeremy were the kiss. I think Mecca found out too the same thing, that the kiss was fake, the kiss picture, but the kiss happens in the movie. That part.
I don't know if that was fake. I don't know.
The pic was fake. No. The guy who's seen the movie, I can't say anything else. flat out said that pic was fake. The rest were real.
Yeah. Well, it looked doctored. It did look doctored. Like it was just a bit.
He's like, it still happens, but that
Yeah.
pic was doctored. Yes.
So,
And look,
so you mean the Ray gangbang scene isn't real either?
Look, you're not helping you. And so for anybody who's listening, guys, look, I understand and even appreciate the desire to put stuff out there that might help validate this stuff, but it isn't helpful, right? Because if you don't need to be right if you're not right, right? So you need to be honest, you need to be transparent. I understand that we all want to watch as this goes down in flames because of how invested we are in Star Wars itself and wanting to see there be a turning point here. But don't do things that are insincere. Don't put things out there that aren't true because it does not help the cause. We want to be above reproach on this. We want to be right in the way that is correct, not in a way that invalidates our honesty and our integrity along the way. So I do get why people might want to make that stuff, but let's be honest and transparent here, guys. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Banana. And yes, you can be right from time to time.
This is okay. So let's talk about the whole thing. Basically, like the title in the thumbnail indicates, it's all true, guys. All of it.
Oh my gosh,
it's all true. All the crap we've been reporting for the last week, especially, is all true. Almost all the leaks are true. Obviously, a lot of that stuff was either stuff that was recut out or was fake stuff that were dropping that didn't happen. But the crust of the story has always been there. 90% of what we've heard all this time has come true. Sporking News sent me a DM. Let me check it out.
And for the people who keep defending Rian Johnson, stop. He deliberately made a movie that divided the fan base. He said that's what he gets off on. So just stop it. Stop defending. He's indefensible at this point.
Yeah, it's not defensible. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what they were thinking. Look, I love how there are people on Twitter who are like, well, Rian Johnson, let's bring back Rian Johnson. We want him back. He did a better job. And J.J. Abrams is over. No, J.J. Abrams had nothing to work with because of Rian Johnson. You may have liked what it was that Rian Johnson pushed in terms of his narrative and in his visual aspect of it, but he didn't leave anything for JJ to work with. There was nothing he could do. What did you expect from him? I mean, given that he only had one movie to work with, what was he supposed to do? What was he supposed to do? I have like just the most minor amount of pity for him in that regard because there's nothing else he really could have done at this point with it.
I still keep saying this is like Community. The Christmas special episode from season 2. They find a meaning of Christmas. It's a mystery box. Open it. It's inside's a DVD. The first season of Lost. First season of Lost represents a lack of payoff. There's your mystery box, people. JJ set up all the stuff to be paid off in the first movie. None of it was paid off by listen. Okay, yeah, this turkey has JJ's name on it, but the real blame goes to Rian Johnson, doesn't it?
Well, Rian Johnson for The Last Jedi, but KK is the one who allowed it to happen because as much as everybody says there wasn't a plan. Okay. I love my fellow YouTubers, but they're not being clear that there was a plan, and I have proof of this, but they threw whatever little plan they had out the fucking window with Rian Johnson, and that's why Trevorrow walked away.
That's right. I threw the plan away because I trusted Rian. He gives just absolutely exquisite back rubs.
And I can tell you this right now, this movie is basically like everybody's saying a Frankensteinian mess. I can't wait to hear Andre say it about 20 times tomorrow. And what happened is JJ has to retcon everything that they did in The Last Jedi so he can tell the story that him and somewhat Trevorrow were going to tell in the first place. Because Trevorrow was obviously going off the original treatment ideas. Now, all I know is I don't know how much was planned, but we do know that Rey at least had parents and they were somebody because both Daisy Ridley and Simon Pegg both came out and said that The Last Jedi changed what the plan was for her parents. At least that much, if not more. I think Simon Pegg touched on more than that. But Daisy said, "Oh yeah, I know who my parents are. JJ told me," and it was different in Ryan changed it.
Mhm.
So yeah, we got a couple super chats we got to catch up on here. Which one you got?
$5 Captain. Ooh, that disappeared. What the heck happened?
You're going backwards, I think, but yeah.
The private chat. No, the chat disappeared on me.
Oh, you're having issues.
Yeah, $5, Captain Hair. I disagree, Mary. JJ could have done Darth Jar Jar instead of Palpatine. A Darth Jar Jar wearing glasses with a round-headed gremlin as a minion.
Well, he just wanted to find someone in his eyes was a clever way of tying this into the original trilogy. That's all it was. It's like, you dumb fuckers, you had it all the time. It was called Luke, Leia, and Han. You know, it's like, come on, folks. What the fuck are you thinking?
Even if you made Rey Lando's granddaughter, that would have been even. That still.
It would even have been better than this shit. Did you have to go, Mary, or are you still okay for a few more minutes? Or she still? Oh, she had to run to deal with the kid. Okay, that's what she meant. Never mind, my bad. Okay. Anyway, so she's not back yet. Okay, we got another super chat here. Keep it up. Your discussion is therapeutic for me. From GTB 1111. ISK 300. That is.
I'm not sure.
Irish. No,
Ireland uses euros.
Okay, so that would be. I'm not going to try and guess.
Is Iceland kroner? Icelandic kroner.
All right. I knew it was something to do with the letters there, but yeah. Okay, we're getting a lot
of European people. Yeah, a lot of European.
That's really cool. Thank you for joining us, guys. Listen to us stupid Americans talk about this shit. I'm just kidding.
That's because we started so early.
Yeah, that's true.
I tell people all the time, if you don't want to go to Europe, you want someone, go to Iceland, because it's a little slice of like Northern Europe, like Scandinavia, in the middle of the North Atlantic. You know, it's a fairly short plane ride from New York. So, I mean, yeah, go quickly before it gets overrun with tourists.
I don't know who thought, KK and JJ, that's who. I was going to say, who thought this was a good idea, but obviously, and then they had supposedly George Lucas come in and throw in his 2 cents, and that's where I think some of the, if you see what his versions were, you can see a lot of the influence there, because he had a sunken Death Star. There's a scene right out of one of his earlier, because he had some art for his takes on what the sequels should be, and there was a female Jedi training, and it was just like the scene with Rey and the stick and the droids in this one. And yeah, so this one's going to carry a lot of George Lucas influence. So I think that's why we're getting a lot of mixed shit. You know what I mean? Like, some parts of it are interesting and good, and there's a lot of cool ideas here, but JJ can't stick a landing. So that's the problem we have. We have somebody who's not a good storyteller interjecting ideas into another guy's movie who's not a very good storyteller. And it's like a copy of a copy of a copy.
JJ, Count Falconer, £5. JJ, Lindelof, Orshi, and Kurtzman are located.
Exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
Strip it back and take the heart out. And when its worth is gone, they move on to next. Yeah, they're cultural locusts.
Yeah, they don't have one unique bone in their body. And if they get one unique idea, they fuck it up so bad because of course they take it and go stupid with it. You know what I mean? I mean, like literally go stupid with it. Like, oh my God, that's a great idea to have a sunken Death Star and Palpatine's still alive. That was probably JJ's idea, because you could tell George Lucas is like, I didn't have any piece of that shit. No, Palpatine's dead.
It's the yes and game.
And yeah. Or a sunlight. Wow, another one.
Palpatine's still alive, and
yeah, that's pretty stupid.
And then Palpatine's still alive, and then the Star Destroyers are underwater, and then all the Star Destroyers have Death Star lasers on them, and then Palpatine is on this big thing that makes him look like Dr. Octopus, and
then you find out he's running the whole show the whole time, and then you find out he's not only Palpatine, but he's Darth Vader and Snoke and blah blah blah, and then you're stuck with the question, well, who the fuck was Snoke then? Because are you saying that Palpatine was creating Snoke, or Snoke was really a person, another Sith? What was the deal? You're opening up all kinds of fucking doors that I can see it already, why this thing is a clusterfuck mess. Because I'm asking myself 100 questions already, and I already know they're not going to answer them in the movie because we've basically seen the whole movie.
Aura Sunlight, 17 Danish kroners. Nobody burn better than the USA. USA. And Riff Magos, $5 Australian. They tried to fill as much George Lucas into this farce as possible to get us OG fans back. And no, thank you.
Yeah, and they ended up screwing it up in the process because you gave it to somebody like JJ, who's an incompetent asshole.
But they didn't want us. Remember what KK said? We don't feel the need to cater to male fans. We don't need to feel, we're just the guys that go out and spend money on shit.
John,
and more importantly, we have kids who we watch these movies with, who will be the next generation. Not me personally, but we have kids. There's your next generation.
Yeah.
That's what they don't fucking get. It's not supposed to be like an iPhone where the hip, cool people.
No, they want a new one every year. That's what they want to turn us into. But they also want us to come back indefinitely. They want both. They want it both ways.
Going to these movies is supposed to be like taking your son to a baseball game. He gets excited. You go see these movies. Like when you're Tom. You remember when you went to your first baseball game?
Yeah, and I hated it. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
You remember how excited you were? The stadium was this big place. You had your scorecard. You knew all the players' names, and you paid attention. Yeah, one hot dog. Sure. Yeah, Dad, one hot dog. Yeah, hot dog. And the green grass. I mean, the excitement of the crowd. Like that is the experience you're supposed to have when you go see a Star Wars movie. You're supposed to. I'm like I said, I don't have any kids, but I would love to have taken them to a Star Wars movie. I always say all the time, I would have taken them to go see Captain America: The First Adventure. This is Captain America. I used to go read his comics when I was your age. Really? When you were my age? That's right, son.
Yeah, that's gone. Yeah. That's going to be completely dissolved.
I hate to break everybody's heart, but I wish it worked that way with kids, Rob. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Kind of
not really, not my experience. But
I had no issues.
I know, I'm just
my kids for the Star Wars films. I took my kids to The Force Awakens, and it was a wonderful.
My kid hated it. He walked out of it.
Well, I hated it personally. Look, mine were younger, I suppose, at the time. Yeah. So, but I mean, like, with the exception of me hating it, they had a wonderful time. They really enjoyed it. They got lightsabers for Christmas that year. They were so excited, and it was something I felt like was going to be something that we could really enjoy together, and that I could pass on to my children. It didn't wind up that way, but that's no fault of the bond between me and my kids, or the attempt to pass on that sort of legacy and tradition to them. It boiled down to I didn't get to do it because I couldn't justify taking them to see The Last Jedi, and I sure as hell won't be taking them to see The Rise of Skywalker. So I think it can work that way. It just depends, I suppose, on the kids and the age and all of that jazz. But that's gone now.
No, I know. I was just giving shit to Rob.
Well,
no.
Yeah, killed by property. Europeans don't take their sons to baseball. Well, soccer game, whatever, ultimate.
But no, here's the thing. Star Wars in and of itself is that event movie.
Yes.
You didn't have anything really close
to that.
Used to be. Yeah, you didn't have anything close to that when Star Wars came out, other than maybe Jaws. But Jaws was more of a thrill ride in a sense of you're scared to shit. They scared the shit out of the audience, kind of like a big version of The Exorcist in a weird way. But Star Wars was something completely different. And even though, it was based on a lot of stuff that we knew already, it was a whole new ball game, not just in storytelling and what it presented on the screen, but in the technology that it brought to the screen, and how movies were presented and how they were presented at home. Mm-hmm. Star Wars is almost single-handedly the reason we have home theaters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's very hard to trace any other movie that really kicked off the idea of, I got to have the biggest fucking TV. I got to have the best sounding speakers and stereo and all this kind of shit at home and surround sound or whatever. Other than because Star Wars was coming to home video, and I want to be able to enjoy Star Wars the way I remember seeing it in the theater. That was a big catalyst for that.
How many different versions of Star Wars did you buy over the years?
Oh, fuck, man. That's the thing. I've given George Lucas so much of my money. I probably put one of his kids through college.
Right. Mm-hmm. Seriously, we're at that place though. We've invested more than just time. We've invested money. We've invested our traditions into these films, into this franchise. We've invested so much as a fan base, and you've repaid that by going, we're going to shift over to a general audience now. Thanks, guys. Do you not feel used? Do you not feel completely and utterly used?
Right, and we should have seen it coming because we got a little bit of it with the prequels. As much as innocent as they are at some points, you gotta fucking admit, really a lot of what the prequels were George Lucas just wanting to play with his new technology and show it off. Otherwise, he would have cared more about the storytelling, and he would have gotten other people in there to help him write. Because at its core, I will agree, there is a great story there. Everything you need to create a really and probably even more compelling than the original Star Wars trilogy story is there. But it was just so haphazardly handled by George and a bunch of yes men. That's the problem you have. And George has these grand visions and these grand ideas, but he's not a storyteller in a sense that he knows how to get you from A, B to C. He'll take you on a million different freaking roads down a dozen different things because he just likes to show you cool things. You know, he's kind of JJ 1.0, but he at least had some original ideas in his head.
Yeah. Nuts Choretta, $2. Like a baseball game, so drink beer and board for 3 hours. Baseball used to move a lot faster when I was younger.
Everything moved faster when you were younger.
I think it was more so everything else was slower, and that was what I was going to get to. I liked you guys' point about every year is a new one. Like I think Mecca said that, and you guys were kind of bouncing off that idea, and it's true. It's true. Back when we were young and we had the Star Wars, we had to wait 3 fucking years to get Empire Strikes Back, and that was before we ever even really had this idea in our heads that there was going to be more movies. And then Empire gave us this idea, and at that point, then George was talking out of his ass saying he was going to give us 9 movies, and we were expecting to get another 3 movies within a few years, and then another 3 movies, and it didn't happen that way. So like it came to a point where we're like, well, we're never going to get these things, So we actually had to convince ourselves that we're never going to see the rise of Anakin Skywalker as Darth Vader. We're never going to get to see what happened to these guys after the fact. We're just going to have to deal with it. And then all of a sudden things changed. So it was like a whole different kind of concept at that point.
Well, you were satisfied though with those 3 movies though. That's the other thing.
And that carried us for a long time until we got the EU, which is I understand why a lot of fans are really disgusted and upset at how the EU has been treated over the years. And frankly, I mean, you also got to add in there how even George Lucas himself has treated it over time to where he's just like, if he doesn't want something to be considered canon anymore because he wants to use it, well, that's all you can do. And nobody has a problem with that. And that's understandable because he's the creator. But, when Disney did it, I can see where they felt like that was some kind of violation.
But
you guys want to get drunk?
Can we? I haven't gotten drunk in a long fucking time.
I still have your wine, Rob.
I'm not sure if maybe it's an all.
I just think we should get drunk and through all of this stuff.
Well, I'm in Colorado, and I have a bag of goodies.
Before you know it, guys, I'm gonna have a video up on my channel explaining how Disney Star Wars drove me to alcoholism.
Okay, apparently I'm not playing trivia tonight then.
Oh, help me. Please help me. I'm sorry. I just can't. I just keep looking at all of this stuff.
I don't want to see this movie. I don't want to see. We live in a day and age where I do not want to see Star Wars at all.
I finally want to see it now just because of how the clusterfuck it's, building up to be. Before that, I had no interest in it. Like after Solo, I was like, I'm done with this crap.
Dude, have you guys seen the fan art that they're putting out now of Reylo?
No, I don't want to. I'm sure it's.
Do you want me to screen share this?
Don't know if we should. We'll probably get booted off.
Fan art. It's fan art.
No, I mean we'll get booted because it's probably like sickening. But
how pornographic is it?
Yeah, that too.
It is nauseating, but it's not.
Okay.
It's not like pornographic, right?
All right. Well, I guess we'll let it pass then.
This is horrifying though, and I feel like everybody should share in my pain. So it's so horrifying. See if I can zoom in on this here. So come on.
Oh God, I don't even want to see that shit.
Yeah.
Then they had to do it in that Disney style animation at that.
Yeah.
While you got that there, Shane Free sent us Canadian $2.79. Star Wars should have united the generations. Oh yeah, I mean, as bad as the prequels were, the least you could say that the kids liked it. For the most part, the kids liked it. Yeah, the parents may not have liked it all. No trivia. Let's play win Tom stuff. Yeah, I got to get the Tom stuff out. So if you're somebody who's won something from me, send me a message because I probably got your message buried somewhere, and I'm trying to find everybody so I get the stuff sent out. Because I finally got the PO box, but I do have some stuff I'm going to give away. Actually, I got a couple movie codes, so anybody in the U.S. will get it. We'll do that before we're done here today. Actually, let's do that. I got one for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I got one for It Chapter 2. So we'll give those away today.
Time for
Win Tom stuff.
So before we're done, we'll do that. But yeah, let's get back on topic though. But thanks for reminding me, Captain Hare, again. So yeah, if you're listening and you're somebody who's won something from me, just send me another message so your message rises to the top of the bunch.
We should say though that if the super chats, they're just to cover postage.
Yeah, yeah, that's all it is. And I got to get them out. And I apologize for those who have won, but I wanted to get the PO box set up and all that kind of stuff, and just everything's been so hectic. But I'm like one step closer to that now. So
yeah, well,
we have a PO box, so I got to check that.
Please, no dead rats.
There hasn't been shit in there, but a calendar and somebody else's junk.
Why are you always ruining my fun, Rob? The first thing I was gonna do was send a dead rat.
Speaking of, Mac, did you check your PO box today or not?
My mom has all of the stuff from it. I haven't had time. I had to deal with some other shit.
Right.
Yeah. And then I streamed, and then I'm here streaming. So
no.
And I was up until
He's getting antsy.
I know.
No. Midnight's Captain Hare was
it's
this
probably
midnight
crap anyway. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you still have my address via email. Still waiting on that DVD. Oh, okay, Captain Hare.
Yeah. Send that to me again just to get it to the top of the. Because that's the thing. A lot of my stuff got buried, so that would help me a lot. Because otherwise, I've been looking for them when I have a few minutes. I've been trying to find everybody's info again. It's my own fault. I'm not, blaming anybody or anything like that. It's just, I had to get the PO box and everything ready, and then instead of actually putting stuff where I should have had it, I didn't. I figured I had it in my emails and all that kind of stuff. So I will get to that though. That is definitely in my things to do. Well, that's not what I wanted to share. Hey, Geeky Candy.
Hey, Geeky Candy. Someone said send a lewd pic of Kathleen Kennedy. Joke. I'm like, yeah, let's not.
Or is that the other chat that I got up here? That might be an old chat. That might be her old chat. Yeah, that's her old chat.
Now, what do you think?
Where is the screen I want to share?
What do you think is going on behind the scenes right now? Do you think Bob Iger is reading the riot act to everybody?
They're running around with their hair.
No, they're just making excuses, blaming us. Oh, they're not going to be happy about anything.
They got to be in full damage control mode. I mean, oh my God.
Oh, it's going to be a clusterfuck of a mess. Rosetta Allen sent us another $2. You don't have to do that. Sometimes here I have to tirade on seizure warnings. You don't need to send us super chats, Rosetta.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessary.
But
they're circling the wagons right now, aren't they?
All right, they have to be.
Yeah. Okay, I got a couple things we got to get to here. I got this thing Sporking News, our good friend, sent us, and then I actually got a review from somebody inside the Phantom Menace.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
Oh no!
What is the worst Star Wars movie?
The worst Star Wars movie is Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
What?
I'll ask again. Alexa, what is the worst Star Wars movie?
The worst Star Wars movie is Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh my God!
Oh my God! Leave it to Spork. Leave it to Spork to do some shit like that.
Definitely check out Sporking News' channel. He's a funny guy, and we've had him on here before, and we'll definitely have him on again here. Sorry that took us so long to get to that Sporking News. But yeah, then we got this other one. This is an actual review from somebody within the Phantom Menace.
Well, I think somebody in the Phantom Menace was there taking pictures, or somebody.
I'm sure there was a few people. Yeah. So yeah, Rob, I think I shared this link in the thing if you want to bring this up.
Or somebody who's reluctantly Phantom Menace now.
Review The Rise of Skywalker. When I was a kid and saw Return of the Jedi at the cinema back in 1983, I dreamed of the Star Wars sequels. George Lucas never made them, but he authorized the continuation of a saga with the expanded universe books. So when Heir to the Empire was released in 1991, that became my beloved sequel trilogy. That was a big deal. I remember that one. I remember when those books were released. That was a huge deal. Fast forward to 2019 with The Rise of Skywalker, a movie promoted as the epic conclusion of the Star Wars saga. But is it? It's a movie not based on Lucas's treatments of episodes 7, 8, and 9, but uses Disney's own ideas. Imagine Warner making a sequel to Lord of the Rings and calling it the epic conclusion of the Middle-earth saga, 60 years in the making. It's things like this that have split the fan base. Not everyone accepts Disney's trilogy's canon. So whether you will like this movie not only depends on the quality, but also, as Obi-Wan would say, your point of view. I followed Yoda's advice and cleared my mind when I entered the theater in Amsterdam on December 17th to watch the press screening of Star Wars Episode X. Episode X, yeah, they were called X. The story signals are picked up in the galaxy that Emperor Palpatine is still alive. Kylo Ren is, of course, looking for him, while the Resistance is busy gathering information in the meantime. Rey is training to become an even better Jedi. Ren finds Palpatine at the start of the film, and we learn that he did not die in Return of the Jedi. How he escaped certain death is not explained. He was thrown down a fucking reactor shaft. There's no coming back from that.
Yeah. They don't. Well, did you see that interview that J.J. Abrams did where he's talking about leaving things ambiguous? But
oh God, that's a mystery box bullshit.
You can't leave something like that ambiguous. Yes, I died. Yes, here I am. Yeah, but how? Why? You can't. That's like you can't just say the Force because that's not how the Force works, right? How did this happen? You have some explaining to do here, and you cannot say as though we're stupid and as though we can't comprehend that when your body explodes and there's nothing left but fragments, then there's nothing for you to imbibe. There's nothing left of you.
Yeah,
So
well, anyway.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's maddening. Yeah. Well, anyway, Palpatine, he was the brains behind Snoke and had an immense fleet to end the Resistance once and for all. Rey, Leia, and others want to prevent this and set off to find the location of the Sith planet Exegol, where Palpatine is, a quest that leads them to many locations and planets and where they find new and old companions. Where The Force Awakens can be seen as a sort of a New Hope reboot, the same can be said about The Rise of Skywalker imitating Return of the Jedi. Abrams copies and throws not one or two nostalgia cards on the table, but a complete deck. Billy D. Williams returns triumphantly as Lando. We see various ships. Wedge Antilles literally returns no less than 1 second, and we also visit the second Death Star. Oh, that I gotta see. Add to that a pod race, speeder bike like chase, and some scenes that could have been in the celebration scenes of Return of the Jedi.
Pod racing?
Well, they just copied.
Oh God, no.
You have Anyways, the copy things, and you have an idea what I mean. Maybe all of this could be forgiven, but unfortunately, director Abrams makes one huge mistake. The movie completely detracts from the prequels and the original trilogy by bringing back a Palpatine hanging on life support, again without explanation. This means Anakin was not the chosen one. His redemption was for nothing. The Death Star was destroyed for nothing. After all, he has survived, and everything can now be defeated for a second time. The absolute disrespect for what George Lucas has created will make this a particularly nasty experience for fans who care about the lore. In addition, so many questions remain unanswered. How did Maz Kanata get the lightsaber from Anakin? How is it possible that this saber, which was destroyed in The Last Jedi, is suddenly whole again? How did Palpatine survive? Just a couple of things even JJ and his mystery box cannot answer. Add to this a cringy ending and a silly twist about Rey's parents, and it's clear this is not the Star Wars many had hoped to see. The fact the movie has great visuals. Adam Driver again gives a solid performance, in my opinion, the best actor of the trilogy. Oscar Isaac's Poe Dameron finally has some scenes to shine, and the effects and creature departments have done their work. Really can't save it. Really well can't save it. If you aren't a fan of the direction Disney took with The Force Awakens or didn't like The Last Jedi, then I don't think you'll embrace this one. It doesn't fix the choices that were made, which, to be honest, I think would have been impossible to achieve. since it has said only to make things worse. So I wonder who can accept the choices made. Several months ago, Mark Hamill tweeted this image, the reunion many fans wanted but never got. Although I agree with Mr. Hamill, I think this image with the same hashtag below wouldn't have been bad either. Missed opportunities. Oh, with Filoni, Cowboy Dave Filoni, Favreau, and George Lucas. Yeah. When the two guys and the maker with a budget of around $100 million and about a tenth of the entire sequel trilogy budget can produce a 5-hour show that doesn't divide the fan base, respects the lore, and introduces a character that was an instant hit and will undoubtedly boost merchandise sales, looking at you, Baby Yoda. I can only hope Lucasfilm is taking notes.
Baby Yoda.
Yeah,
Baby
how did they
Yoda.
screw the pooch on
Baby
Baby Yoda?
Oh, they didn't
Oh
want
my
spoilers.
Bullshit.
Yeah, they should have had him leak. No, that's the problem. No, they didn't. They didn't have anything even started sculpting until like 2 weeks after. Once we said no, we want Baby Yoda.
My personal theory is Kathleen Kennedy didn't want Baby Yoda showing up her Golden Girl Rey.
I think you're right. Well, I don't know if it's that necessarily so much as I don't think she wanted Mandalorian to succeed, period.
Yeah, she's trying to say she's probably trying to. You notice we didn't have any commercials really on TV spots in the build up to the Mandalorian. Mm-hmm. Only afterwards.
Oh, it was a surprise success. I don't think they were expecting it to be as big a success as it was. I really don't.
We were taken by surprise at how popular the Mandalorian was going to be.
I think they were literally expecting a bunch of backlash over Baby Yoda.
Yeah. That little peckerhead, Baby Yoda. Oh, he's no Rey, let me tell you. And he's a toxic male.
Shut up, Kathy.
Because how hard, I mean, okay, they had a bunch of, or not a bunch, but they had some Mandalorian figures and they had the robot and a few other things. Yeah, they're like, oh, we didn't want it to leak out. Who would really know what it was? They would just think it's a Yoda. Mm-hmm. Nobody would have really known what it was other than the packaging. So you save the packaging crap for last.
Well, and that's the thing. They could have just they could have just said, "Oh yeah, it's just gonna be a background, like a therm scissor punch." We probably would have said, "Oh, it's just like another therm scissor punch that they don't do anything with, but it's cute," and I'd probably buy the damn thing. We didn't know it was going to be.
They
like
probably make the shit in China. The Chinese don't care about these movies. They just don't give a shit.
Nope. Ooh, the Baby Yoda. Oh, what is American by Baby Yoda? Okay, that's
rather than by Toyota.
Tubian 323 $5. If in Minecraft you didn't want to pay money for Minecraft, you didn't want to pay money to review Rise of Skywalker, you could, you know what? It online. Armady? Who's that? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're talking about. You know, because F movies these days, right?
There's a hidden meaning behind that.
Like, come on, WTF, people, come on.
Where's the freaking bender sound? Shit, I can't find my bender sound. But this one's always funny.
Forget it. He's gay.
So, this one.
Aye, aye, Captain.
So, Shane Free, 279 Canadian. That's BS. It's not ownership. It's story quality. Well, they're just using ownership as an excuse. They're just using, fans, you don't have ownership over these characters. Probably no, but you know what? We want to see something good. Don't waste my fucking time. I will gladly shout it from the rooftops if this movie is good. Gladly.
I gave Knives Out a positive review.
Tom and Mecca and Married to a Lesser Degree will tell you that if I like something, I will never shut up about it.
Yep. Santiago's.
Yeah, Ford versus Ferrari. Which, by the way, Ford versus Ferrari on Blu-ray and DVD, March 20th. But if you destroy something I love, I will hate you forever.
Yeah. Does it feel weird to you guys that we're doing homework instead of going to see a Star Wars movie?
Yep. Yeah, it feels bad.
Yeah.
It feels dirty. It feels it's like something has died where you're this thing you used to love. It's like going through a breakup or something where you're seeing this thing that you used to love or have some affection for, and now it's just, I don't want to see I don't want to see it. I don't want to see this anymore.
I feel like I already know what I'm going to see. I've read the leaks, I've seen the pictures, I'm seeing the reviews. I know what it is that I'm going to see. And I feel like I have to drag myself to the theater on Thursday. I feel like I'm going to have to drag myself in there and force myself to watch this thing so that I can come back and give you guys my actual opinion, because I saw it and I did my job and I did what it was that I had to do. But never in my wildest dreams did I believe that there could come a day
where it's a job,
where I would have to drag myself to the theater.
Where you weren't going to go see Star Wars movie, yeah.
Let alone the end of the
Star
saga.
Trek too.
Like this is the end of the saga. This is supposed to be this giant, beautiful, triumphant moment where we all come together and cheer as Star Wars fans, where we fall in love collectively as a fandom with this thing. And instead, we're sitting here dragging ourselves to do this thing. And it hurts. I feel like a void, a chasm inside of me that there's nothing that can fill or fix, that it's just destroyed. Why? How are we here? How did this happen? I don't understand. I don't get it. And I'm heartbroken.
I can tell you what happened. One incompetent secretary who shouldn't have been in charge of the company, that should have had a creative person there, hired one artsy-fartsy little director and didn't know that that was a bad idea. One pretentious little artsy-fartsy director.
I don't look, I get it. You don't love Star Wars, KK. You don't love Star Wars, Bob Iger. You don't love Star Wars, Ryan Johnson. I get that. I get it. And you don't have to, and that's fine. But the least you could have done was respected enough to find people who did. You could have done that. You could have had some actual respect for this thing that you knew was worth $4 billion. You could have hired people that loved it. Why was that so difficult? It's certainly doable. Look, I'm not saying that everything that Dave Filoni does is perfect, but clearly he has passion and zeal for it. Why couldn't you find those people? Why couldn't you respect it enough to do that? How did you let this happen? How are we here? People who've given so much of their time and their money to this, who followed it and loved it, talk about it passionately. And now that's gone for so many people. And the only thing you care about there, Disney Lucasfilm, is how this is going to impact your wallet. Well, we were happy with it impacting our wallets because we gave our money to it over and over and over again. We were good with supporting something we loved. But you never cared. You never cared. I'm just so angry. I'm so angry.
And like I said earlier, when we were talking about this in Geeky Candy stream, I said the same thing, kind of like I'm going to say now that you did just then, and that was, I equated this whole thing to a breakup, and whether you felt like it was one of those things that happened during the prequels or now with Disney Star Wars, regardless, it's something I think we all can relate to, and you get to a point where it's just like, why is this thing that I loved so much and brought so much joy to me in my life now bring me nothing but pain and misery? And all kidding aside, it's true. I mean, we are so, I don't know the word I'm looking for, disjointed or feeling disregarded. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for.
We're disposed of.
Disposed of.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mecca.
like
Yeah, we just been pushed aside, and we don't matter. We don't, we don't equate into this whole thing anymore.
You're expendable.
We're expendable. The whole thing, like before, I said, yeah, it's this whole thing. Like it's just like an iPhone now. It's whatever this year's new shiny one is. Nobody cares about the past. Nobody pays any attention to anything that came before it. And sooner or later, we're gonna get. And we've gotten to the point where, you know, they've all gotten, you know, between Terminator and Charlie's Angels and all these things, it's starting to slowly happen. They're starting to lose money. They're starting to lose momentum. Sooner or later, they're going to realize, oh shit, we actually have to start telling stories, you know, not relying on franchises before and relying on our political agenda to tell a story. You'll actually have to, buckle down and tell a story. Now we got the missed super chat. Sorry about that, DCV Titan. I don't know how I missed it. Down a reactor shaft of a reactor that subsequently blew the fuck up. That's right. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. I guess it was in earlier leaks. I think it was implied that he was kind of a clone or something like that. But even in the latest leaks, they don't really explain it, but they kind of imply that he's like a meat puppet for all of the Force spirits. And yeah.
Well, the comic Dark Empire, he's a clone.
Look, it's not the clone aspect of it, right? Like, because that was something you could have potentially done, right? Because Sith spirits is not unprecedented in the expanded universe. You could have done a clone thing, I suppose. But as near as I can tell, they're talking in the leaks about him bringing the body back to life, right? That he has to bring this body back to life. Well, we know nothing of a clone that's died that needs to be brought back to life. So the implication here is that this is him. This is Palpatine. Everything that we've ever known to be Palpatine. And he's been orchestrating all of this. He never left. He was never out of power. What Anakin did means nothing. So if the leaks are true, and I think at this point there's nothing but validation for them, then all we have to look forward to is a retread of the exact same thing as before. But now let's invalidate the sacrifice of Anakin Skywalker. Let's invalidate the heroism of Luke Skywalker, and let's hand all of that to Rey because Palpatine was never gone. He was always there. He was always orchestrating everything. And so they did nothing. They accomplished nothing.
No, they just destroyed what came before it all. And Palpatine's behind it all.
It was me, Austin.
Luke and Anakin mean nothing anymore.
Just make Rob happy.
It was always just a build up to Rey.
Yeah, Rey's everything.
It was me, Austin. It was me all along, Austin.
And how's that for pissing on the ashes of Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia, and not only that, Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, George Lucas, and everybody by making the granddaughter of old Papa Palpatine the one, the only, the savior, the chosen one, the one who fixes everything, who makes the universe better, who saves everybody in the galaxy. Blah 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 blah. Fucking blah.
Like they didn't think. Okay, you don't let the bad guy win.
Ultimately, yeah, the bad guy did win. Yeah, his daughter, his granddaughter is the.
You're telling me, yeah, Palpatine's granddaughter is the one who's going to restart the Jedi Order and move things forward. What the?
Are they stupid?
What the fuck?
I'm just wondering.
Serious?
I'm just like wondering, did they have like little did they have like recovery? He was the second Death Star was blown into 1 billion bits, and he was thrown down a reactor shaft. He was vaporized into 1 billion bits. I mean, did he have like little robots in orbit around Endor? Hey guys, I think I found a nose. Are you sure it's his? Yeah, it's old and wrinkly. Oh, okay. Hey, I think I found a toe. Just like what's going? How? You don't do this without an explanation.
God, there's nothing like hearing Rob scream.
We need fuel. Yeah. Oh, that drove Rob nuts. And me too. It's like, since when has fuel ever been a fucking thing in Star Wars? Mary, you can probably help me out a little bit. Maybe it came up in some.
No, not. I mean, like, look, occasional mentions of it here. It's never been a plot device. Okay. Never been something that you use.
That's that important. That's your whole reason.
Yeah, it's an incidental detail, right? Why don't you leave a base? You were at your base, right? You fueled up at your base as you do, and you have one hyperdrive jump. But as I understand it within the leaks here, now this is interesting to me. So in the leaks, they do something called skipping, right? Like light speed skipping.
Yeah, light skipping.
And it does damage to the Falcon. So they have to have fuel on board to do multiple jumps, right? So it's
to outrun the Cylons, yeah.
Absolutely. You got to outrun everybody. So you got to do multiple jumps through hyperspace. So why is it that the Falcon is going to have enough fuel on board to do massive multiple jumps in order to skip through hyperspace, but you just left your base where you would have refueled and you don't have what you need, and this is a massive major plot point for the entire movie? You people are fracking stupid. You are so stupid. This did not even make sense from one movie to the next. You made it a major plot point, and then the very next movie, suddenly you can have enough fuel on board to do massive multiple, so much so that you can skip through hyperspace. Right. You are so stupid.
Well, if it happens every 33 minutes, I'm walking out of that theater and I'm demanding my money back. Because that's right out of Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, because they never brought it up because, Luke flies all the way to fucking Dagobah in his X-Wing and shit, and Darth Vader's living out in outer space in his little TIE fighter for how long, for God knows how long, until he gets picked up by whoever because they're all dead.
This is why you make it a plot point. You can't make it a plot point because it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly. And that's why even and to be honest, this is why Gene Roddenberry made
dilithium crystals.
Well, not just that, but beaming a thing. Because he didn't want to have to deal with the logistics of all the bullshit you have to go through with a ship and landing and land and how that works and all that other crap. George Lucas just looked all past that shit. And I think he said it best. And that's why I was able to forgive some of the shit early on in The Last Jedi before Princess Leia turned into Mary Poppins, is because there never really has been such an he never did adhere to science so much, and that's why Star Wars is more fantasy than sci-fi in a sense that it's that shit doesn't matter. Space gas doesn't matter because you never had Han going, "Hey Chewie, we're gonna have to go gas up." It's like, because why? Because it just stops the fucking movie. Nobody cares. It's so much easier. And wouldn't you imagine that if, like, all the time that Chewie and Han spent working on the Falcon, they were just like, look at this shit. We're out of gas. Who'd have thunk it?
Chewie, take a look at the map. Maybe there's an Exxon station around here.
Oh, I hate dealing with those guys. Yeah. Anyway, I don't understand why all of a sudden fuel is in there.
It's not.
Niruk Derog, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. $10 makes you wish Darth Treya, succeeded in Knights of the Old Republic 2. She was very critical of the Jedi and Sith and saw the Force as evil and tried to kill the Force to set the galaxy free. Oh, okay. DCV Titan. I'm not familiar with.
Sounds almost like a Greek mythological story kind of worked into the Star Wars. I'm not aware of it, but I'm aware of the Old Republic. But
DCV Titan, $5 Canadian. Leia can use the Force to fly in space, so why can't Palpatine use it to pull his dispersed atoms back together? Because, hold on, it seems idiot worthy enough for JJ. Seems idiot worthy enough.
Why JJ doesn't have to explain it, because it's not fucking important to him in this aspect. But no, this shit is important. Fuel, not important. This shit important. Why? Because Star Wars has always revolved around the characters, their relationships, and all that kind of shit. And we didn't have a bunch of characters coming back from the dead willy fucking nilly all the time in the prequels or the original trilogy. So why all of a sudden is it a thing in the sequels?
So if it's true that Palpatine, I mean, like I said, if he survived death once, I mean, could they conceivably bring him back again?
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, there's a lot of things you could kind of debate here. And once you have the ability for Rey to be able to not only heal somebody, but then like Kylo actually does some Force shit and brings her back to life or whatever. It's like, how did these guys get so much farther advanced than Luke and Leia ever could have been? They couldn't have never been trained. They're doing things like, I've seen so many memes in the last few days of like, yeah, bringing somebody back from the dead or healing somebody. That would have come in real handy for Obi-Wan, wouldn't it? When Qui-Gon was laying there fucking dying in his arms, like, yeah, come on. What the fuck is this shit? You cannot just throw in willy-nilly fucking powers at the last goddamn minute and expect people to go, oh, okay, that works. No, that's fucking retarded. And I don't use that term often, and I'm using it in the correct sense here. We went from a point where we had a very smart, simple fucking idea of what the Force was to this convoluted bullshit. So it's been this retardation of the Force, especially it's gone exceedingly expedient in the sequel trilogy. George fucked with it a little bit in the prequels when it was more like everybody should have just listened. He should have just listened to everybody when he said, no, just leave the Force alone, George. It works as it is now. You don't need them to add the midi-chlorians, and they weren't a part of the Force originally. The closest thing he had is the wills, which, yes, the wills were always a part of the Force, but that was something he left out because it was just too complicated for a general fucking audience to comprehend. The Force as it is makes fucking sense. If you're somebody who's Force sensitive and are attuned to the Force, then you can have the ability to become a Jedi. Like if your father was, a powerful Jedi and you're the son of a Jedi, obviously you have the possibility that you could be a very powerful Jedi. That's the idea. It's something that runs in families. It's something that, it's not just something anybody could fucking do willy-nilly. It's just, there's so many of these random bullshit things that are brought into the equation once you even bring in midi-chlorians, let alone all the shit that they've introduced now in the sequel trilogy. Fucking Skyping through space.
Yeah, well, it killed Luke Skywalker, and now Force healing is going to kill Kylo Ren. So you can force yourself to death, guys. It's not only precedented; it's now standard. You can force yourself to death doing anything.
Is that like fucking yourself to death?
Yeah,
I mean, at least the midi-chlorians were in line with what was in the original trilogy. As much as you can hate on them, at least they're kind of still in line.
Look, the midi-chlorian, not to defend the midi-chlorian.
No, I know, but I almost have to.
Well, they're really just a way of gauging, right? So it's
right.
Midi-chlorians are more like a vehicle. They're not the Force itself. They're a vehicle, a way of gauging a person's attachment to the Force and how strong they may be in it, right? So look, it does demystify it to some extent. And I'm not defending midi-chlorians, but they're not like universe breaking here. Okay, they're not great, but they're not the.
No, that was my point exactly. Thank you, Mary. Yeah.
Anyway, guys, I am gonna have to scoot. I have a couple of things I have to do.
I'm sorry, Mary.
No. I gotta get the kid out of bed and I gotta prep for the insanity that.
No, that's all right. I didn't think we even planned on going this long, but we're gonna wrap it up pretty soon. But we do appreciate you stopping by, Mary. We always love having you, and of course, hopefully we have shenanigans this week, or yeah.
No, so I'm gonna be skipping shenanigans this Friday to focus on what is at hand, which is that the Rise of Skywalker is going to be what's going down. And so in order to cover that properly, I'm making myself available for that. So shenanigans will be off for this particular weekend, but it will be back the following weekend, guys. And so I'll see you there for that. But
sounds good.
We gotta focus on what's at hand right now, and I think that it's important to make sure that we've been waiting for this for so long. We've been waiting for this for most of us 2 years. I've been waiting for it for 4 years, but a lot of us have been waiting for this validation and this vindication, and I want to be in the thick of it with everyone. I want to be on all the streams. I want to be talking about it all of the time, because this is where we step forward and everyone gets to acknowledge we were right. We were right about this.
Yeah, I think we're planning on doing a lot of stream hopping and stuff. Like I'm probably going to open up a StreamYard or whatever this, StreamYards format for people and see who I can get to, I think during the weekend or during this week, because I want to see as many points of view as I can. Yeah. This is the event. This is the thing we've been working for.
Expect to see all of us all over the place on all of each other's channels, because this is our family and it's time to discuss.
Yep.
So let's do it. So thank you for having me on, guys. I will see you later on. Love y'all.
Take care, Mary. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for stopping in.
Absolutely. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Mexican Iron Man sent us a 1999 super chat.
That is a great name, by the way.
It is a super chat when it comes from a superhero.
Yes.
Does that make it a super chat?
Yes. Yes, it does. A super chat. Midnight's Edge is not aware of the mystical, replicative, Day of the Dead Mexican genetics. The answers to our questions is the same. Hashtag the Force and Rey is Mexican. Hey, it's as good as any other explanation we don't get. LOL Chaka.
Honestly, I'm surprised she isn't. It's like Latino. Like they had to make her a white girl of all things.
Of course, because
why aren't people getting triggered by that?
She's a stand-in for Kathleen Kennedy.
I know, but I'm trying to.
I
be
know. Yeah, I know. I know.
ironic here or whatever.
Like
But
I said, whole Brie Larson, all the blondies lined up, and all the Ray, the million Ray March at the convention. In that
you're all inclusive. Sure.
Yeah.
yeah.
To all these little boring. Well, it's inclusive if you're an ugly white girl or a less than attractive one, because that's who they want, and that's who you always see cosplaying are the less. These are the girls who wouldn't be pretty enough to be like the hired cosplayers, but that's why you have the most generic, boring, bland, not too pretty. And when they are too pretty, they frump them down and they make them they throw a potato sack on them, because that's what they're actually representing. So all of these girls who are like, oh, it's so representative, you're just an islamophobe. It's like, no. They're pandering to you because they see you as not super pretty. And they're giving you a not super pretty character to look up to. This is why we have Brie Larson. This is why we have these little plain Jane. How do they say it in China? The Doma? Is that how they were saying? Yeah, the old housewife looking as actresses now. That is why, because they're trying to be more representative of like the Chelsea Steiners and the Rachel Leishmans and those type of people who just have a face for radio.
Yeah,
I heard you was talking shit about me, Mecca.
Oh no, we
I am
said
a
her name.
person. I just play people.
She thinks she's people. How cute.
I think I'm people. Can I get a treat?
Where's there smoke weed every day?
Bree, look, a TSA agent. He wants your number.
Oh God, where? If he's a white man, I'm running.
I think he's a
He's a toxic white dude.
I don't need to prove myself to him.
You don't. Who do you need to prove yourself to?
I don't need to prove I did my own stunts.
I need to look at my forever community and see how well I know
forever community.
Laura Sunlight, 17 Danish kroner. Next up, stormtroopers using the Force. So, Bree, is that Ahsoka in this movie?
What?
Are you playing Ahsoka in this movie? In the Rise of Skywalker?
No, I'm dry.
Oh.
I hope she plays Ahsoka. Well, I just saw a quartering video pop up in my recommendations, and it's got Doomcock's face on there. So shout out to Rob for discovering Doomcock and for Doomcock for taking the brunt of all of the mundane little channels out there yelling at him for
Bob doesn't need to be celebrated because he's a white male.
How do you know? How do you know? You've never seen him. No one's ever seen him.
Toxic white male.
I'm actually a duck. Look,
but his video is saying that, well, since the other leaks were true, was now George Lucas actually disinvited and shunned, and is Brie Larson actually? Because that's another one of the leaks of Doomcock's rumors, was that Brie Larson is going to be Ahsoka, and I can confirm that Ahsoka will be in Rise of Skywalker.
Place is in the Skywalker Rising, and how can you be a talking duck? Ducks aren't real.
They're not real.
I thought you were Lur.
I am Lur of Omicron Persei.
But you're Daffy Duck.
Guys, don't watch the film. Also, future groupie.
Brie Larson loves Supreme Leader. I can prove it. She commented on my video.
He is a white male.
She liked his finger.
Speaking of the stormtroopers using the Force, though, wasn't that in one of the earlier drafts that his Palpatine's troopers were like Force-induced shit, like they had powers, but they probably
they can fly now.
Hashtag that's not real.
I don't know how in the world you could be a talking duck.
It's magic, Brie.
Like unicorns?
Fuck.
Yes.
I made a story movie about unicorns. It's a metaphor.
It's a metaphor for being a bratty, grown-ass woman. Child.
Always a fun time when Brie Larson shows up.
Does that mean I have to leave? I was told there would be cocaine.
There's cookies?
Cookies or cocaine? Because if I eat cookies, I gotta puke.
Oh, you see, that dress on anybody else would be hot, but her personality just sucks all the sexiness out of it.
Stop looking at my boobs, Bob.
Rob. Whatever.
What?
Did you hear her whining about needing a lightsaber?
I did need a lightsaber. Otherwise, how can I be Star Wars if I don't have a laser sword?
I can show you that video. You want to see it? You want to see the video?
People who are space wizards.
I've been tagging it at the end of my videos as my latest sting.
You and the Geeks Plus Gamers guys don't think I can do it.
2B and 2323 says Supreme Leader is not a white male. He's Middle Eastern, isn't he? Nobody knows where Supreme Leader's from. Not even Supreme Leader. Yeah. It's such a close. It's such a close secret.
And the yellow Flash man, I don't understand why he's so insensitive because he's yellow. Why does he hate me so much? I don't get it.
I like that guy.
Hey, that's
Bree
me.
thinks she's people. Look, Bree thinks she's people. Here, this is a great one.
I'm on the TV.
But how could you be two places at once, Bree?
I think she's going to be. She's been trying to be in Star Wars.
I don't know, Bob.
Crazy. I was like, what? I just have things coming out of my hands. Like, I need a lightsaber.
I need a lightsaber. See, I told you. I need a lightsaber. Bill, go get me a lightsaber. Make your white man self useful and go get me a lightsaber.
That's her personality, though. That's her in Unicorn Store.
Oh,
that's
you think
her
I'm making this shit up?
I know. She's just a whiny little teenager, and it's amazing.
I'm not making this shit up. I've seen enough interviews with her. I already know her.
I know. She's just a whiny, bratty teenager. I am the only
thing that matters in this world. And I am the only thing that matters in this room. And if you don't pay attention to me, I'm going to totally freak the fuck out right now and have a complete breakdown.
Is she Katie Kaboom?
Oh my God. I am so going to slap you, bitch.
Katie Kaboom. That was the thing of my time. So when you were a little girl, before you were born, Katie Kaboom was a thing.
I was born and the world started. My mom said that the sun revolves around me.
Yeah, your mom also said I was good in bed last night.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, you have a funny face.
Thank you.
And I don't like you because you're a mean white man lover.
What's wrong with that?
Just shut up your face.
Isn't that ist if you don't like
white people? Very much. Now I don't want to be here anymore. You people are very rude. And I don't understand why you hate my friend Ryan Johnswell.
Ryan Johnson. Ka-ching.
He's such a good person.
Always a fun time.
Your mom also said she should have swallowed. Yeah, Brie, your mom really should have swallowed.
Aura Sunlight, 17 Danish kroner. Mercy, I'm dropping laughing death.
Brie can't jingle though. That's the problem. She's just jealous of my most awesome, amazingest sweater in the world.
Why are you showing off your boobs for men to ogle?
Am I? I thought I was just jingling.
Bill, stop looking at my breasts. I can feel you gazing.
Oh, my lights are going off. Oh no.
That
I was just
gazing?
jingling. Baby Yoda. I got a Baby Yoda ornament, but it actually just matches my sweater perfectly.
I had a baby kitty once for a few days.
Oh, really? What happened?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Somebody probably stole it. It kept clawing at my face and running away.
Brie Larson, I think your time is up. You're not fun anymore.
I am not Me Too. Time is not up. I am the
You get the
bestest
super chat?
ever.
The Aura Sunlight?
Christmas time is here.
Okay.
I'm going to sing you a song about Christmas. Make Christmas about me. Thank you.
Hey, me rhymes with Brie.
Brie. Anyway, yeah. That's hard on the voice.
What does Supreme Leader have to say about that?
Supreme Leader. He's finally watched the Muppets.
The Muppets.
Yeah, comrade. I go to see movie. Supreme Leader go to see movie with Frog and Pig and Greg Gonzo. Is how you say Muppets? Very much I'm liking these Muppets.
So you must be like way far behind where you're from, even though you won't disclose this information to anybody across the world, even the
Supreme
president of the
Leader.
United States. But
Supreme Leader is a location. It's the origin of Supreme Leader is very guarded, closely secret. Not even Supreme Leader knows.
that's
how
good.
close it is. Yes.
That way you can't screw up your own home. But you guys are so
Right.
far behind. You're just finally seeing Muppets Take Manhattan now. You do know that movie came out in 1984, right?
They took Manhattan. When did this? They. Oh, when
Oh,
did
so you're
this
talking
happen?
about one of the earlier ones? Holy cow.
I see. Then they move right along in Studebaker going.
Oh,
to,
goodness, yes. In the
Yeah,
third
me too.
movie, they conquer Manhattan, sir.
Thank you for spoiling ending.
They come in
Yes.
with an army of Muppets and take it over. So
I'm going to say spoiler warning.
yeah, I should
you-
have. Sorry about that.
Army of chicken Muppets. I like the chicken Muppet. Like hang out with Gonzo. He's
The
chicken
movie's
Muppet.
only 40 years old, so
Yeah. Supreme Leader. That Gonzo is into some pretty freaky stuff. He hangs out with all those chickens.
you like Gonzo, huh? He's like your favorite character, huh?
I like Gonzo. I like the bear. The bear is strong.
Ozzy?
Yes, bear is strong. He says waka waka all the time.
So you like the bear? Does that mean you're from Russia?
We're not sure where it's Supreme Leader. Again, Supreme Leader's location is closely guarded. My secret police would have to arrest me if I knew.
That sounds like a very insane situation to not even know where you rule.
Yes, it is. It's very, very, very insane. Yes.
So what do you think about Palpatine making a comeback? Does that threaten your leadership?
Supreme Leader is not worried about that Palpatine because he's still hooked up to the Dr. Octopi arm. He's hooked up to the
It's like Davros from freaking
Yes,
Doctor Who.
Supreme Leader, all he has to do is go up behind him, say, "Hey, look over there," and pull plug out. And
Well, aren't you worried about Doomcock though? Because he's winning. Like he just had a major victory. Like big
Doomcock.
time.
Yes, Doomcock. I'm currently in the market for robot army. I'm going down to Carmax version robot.
How do you
Max.
expect to build a robot army in enough time to even compete?
Well, you see,
See, we can't show you the picture of the Palpatine leak, but we can show you this. So this is pretty much what it looks like. You know, pretend
So
it's Palpatine though.
I could show
Instead of
something. I
Davros.
could show something that's kind of a.
Is it not some
See,
kid's drawing?
It's something I can show, but it's actually something that's going to probably be in Andre's review. So I guess it'd be a preview. So I
See,
guess
Supreme Leader is he goes down to IKEA and he builds the robot army himself. They have a special robot army this week.
I don't think that's going to work, sir.
Why not?
I just don't see you having the time.
When's Supreme Leader taking Mecha to Vegas?
Yeah, you have to take back all over the world. How are you going to have time to build an army at IKEA? I just don't see that happening.
In
It is good.
Japan.
Japan?
Yeah.
There's a lot of
And Spain.
Supreme Leader. All
And
these people,
France.
little people, are in Japan, and Supreme Leader towers over them. That is very good.
You'll be taller than everybody in Japan, and you're short.
That is correct.
That's probably your best bet. I wouldn't say
Supreme
you're
Leader will
wrong.
be giant, one man. He will be.
So-
he'll be-
Ovaltine, and be sure to drink your Ovaltine.
Drink your Ovaltine.
be
I
sure
only
to
bought
drink-
this so I could jiggle.
All right, here's kind of a rendition.
I only bought this dress so I could jiggle and blink.
Where is it? Why isn't it showing up in my thing?
Es supremely
Damn it. Sometimes I hate this shit. Okay, it's not showing up there. Maybe it'll show up here. Did you guys see that? That's basically what it looks like. We commissioned some art for tomorrow because we knew that
take on me, take on me.
Oh God, it's gonna be so bad. Why? It's just like Mary was saying. Did you ever think you would not want to see a Star Wars movie?
I didn't until I knew it was gonna be a clusterfuck. Now I want to see this shit.
Oh my God.
I still don't because I'm afraid I'm gonna fall asleep and I snore.
Well, at least you know how it ends. So I suppose, folks. Why don't we call this a thing and close it out? I will be hanging out, I think, with Andre tomorrow morning, maybe to do his review. If Rob shows up, I guess we'll see. But we get to hear Andre break down all the juicy goodness of this movie tomorrow with all the juicy details. So stay tuned for that. He'll have a spoiler-free review, I think it is, or spoiler-ish free review, and then we'll talk all kinds of spoilers. So until then, we do bid you adieu. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Check out Mecha Random's channel. Check out Robot Shlomo's channel. He does his own stuff over there. If you love Rob's rants, he has all kinds of videos over there to check out.
And sometimes I make him work on my channel.
Yes, and sometimes he pops up over on Mecha's channel. So yeah, go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, check out the new video we have on Midnight's Edge where we talk about all the leaked photos.
Yeah, we just did. I just dropped it last night. Yeah.
How's it doing? Did that do okay? Or
yeah, actually, it was doing. I think it was like 2K views, which isn't bad for us. We haven't dropped a lot of videos like that. We need to do it more often. Apologize, guys. We've been so far behind on everything, but anyway.
And I'm gonna have a video drop in 15 minutes here.
There you go. So check out Mecha's video in 15 minutes. So head on over there and check that out. And until next time, we want to thank you for joining us, and thank you so much for all these super chats. And anybody who's going to the movie tomorrow, drive safely and avoid idiots. So remember to stand up and clap when Raylo happens. Then you will know you're among Fandom Menace.
That's right.
Hail the Fandom Menace, hail Doomcock, hail Gary, hail everybody, hail Jeremy, hail the Geeks and Gamers clan.
Hail Rise of the Fandom Menace.
I think we've had
episode 9, Rise of Fandom
week of vindication after all this. I think it proves that we're a force to be reckoned with, pun intended. So more to come.